Hi guys, my name is Gil. Welcome back to Crypto Time channel. You know the drill. Please consider subscribe and hit that bell to get the latest from us. Today we're gonna talk about support and resistance and how that's important, to identify those zones of an asset. So let's run the intro. Guys, here we are. I think let's jump into the chart. I want to show you support and resistance concepts. So very basic, but again, very important concepts for an asset. So here we are into Bitcoin monthly chart. It's one of the oldest we have from back to July 2010. So it's monthly chart just to make it easier to see and understand the concepts behind support and resistance. So first things first, guys, I want to share with you to remind you of some basic concepts, but again very important, because one thing that worth to remember is the basics always work. Okay, so we have to know the basics. So first thing is the market. So to be able to see, the movements of an asset, so we have to look back in time, because we don't know what's going to happen in the future. So there's no crystal ball here. Okay, so we don't know what's going to happen, but we can try to to understand and to kind of predict the most probably zone or spot that the price is going to reach sometime in the future, stuff like that. Okay, but what you can do and what we know is the history of that asset based on its past. So if we look here in Bitcoin, we have the whole picture from its past back to 2010. So that gives us an idea what's going on with that asset. So another thing is the market is controlled by buyers and sellers. So the buyers are represented by the bulls and the sellers by the bears. Okay, so the war between buyers and sellers leave this footprint, which is the picture of an asset of its past. So here we have the Bitcoin past. Okay, so the buyers and sellers, so this war between them happens and leaving those footprints, if you like, and always in waves. Okay, so the market movements happens in waves. Okay, so never like in a vertical line, or something like that. So as you can see, Bitcoin price, a long time is moving in waves. It's going on an uptrend. Okay, so that's how it works. No matter if it's going in a downtrend or uptrend, the price is gonna move in waves. Okay. So of course, if you change the time frame here to daily chart or kind of intraday chart, we have more noise, so we have more waves. Okay, so I'm just kind of trying to to make it easier to all of you to see the concepts, but we can apply that to different time frames as well. Okay, so knowing that the buyers and sellers, they control the markets and they leave those footprints behind. So we can say that support and resistance. So let's talk about support first. So support, they are zones where the buyers control. Okay, so the buyers control the zones of support of a price. Is basically when the market says look, that's enough. We've been falling. The price is dropping, but that's the minimum price we're gonna allow for this asset. So and then we're gonna have a lot of buying pressure at those zones. So those zones are supports. Okay, and then supports, they are made by previous lows. So as I said, so the price is falling. So let's pick this time here. So it was 2013, just for instance. So the price is falling through all these months, and then reached kind of a bottom here on 2015. Okay, so let's zoom in. Hey, hold on, to make it easier. So here we are again. So the price is falling, and then kind of, you see here, reach a bottom. So this here was was a bottom, and then the price moves again and goes back to that bottom. So what I'm trying to show you here, guys, is that the bottoms, we're gonna find support at those zones. So where the market is saying like, look, we cannot take the price falling anymore. So we're gonna buy from here because that's the minimum price for this asset. And then we're gonna have a support zone at that price zone as well. So some people, they think is a kind of a round number or something like that, but we're gonna work in zones. So it's a price zone where we reached a bottom, and then we're gonna have a lot of buying pressure there, which means the buyers are in control of that zone. And the opposite works the same. So once the price reaches a top or a high, so the sellers will dominate, will control that zone. So we can expect to have a lot of selling pressure at those zones. And those zones, we can say for sure that the resistance, they are made by they are made by previous highs or previous tops. So that's kind of the concept, the basic concepts of support and resistance. So if we can draw a line here, for instance, let's draw the line here and in here. Okay. So here we're gonna have so the first line here at the bottom, we're gonna have our support, okay, and the next one will be our resistance. So if we take this candle right here as a starting point, so we are going from the support zone all the way up to the resistance zone, and then the price falls all the way down again to retest the support zone once again, actually like several months. As you can see, each candle here represents a month, so we have several months here. So and then goes all the way back up to that level in the future. So that's a kind of a concept of support and resistance. And one analogy to make here is let's imagine we are in a building and kind of we're trying to to go from the ground floor all the way up to the to the top floor, but we are trying to do that through the ceiling of the floors. So let's just draw a couple of more lines here to to kind of make our building so you can easily get the picture. So guys, so we have now, let's say for those yellow dot lines, to represent our building. So we are trying to reach the top floor, going through the ceiling. So the floor, will be actually our support, and the ceiling will be our resistance. So the support, the buyers are in control, so they will try not to allow the price to go, further down, and the resistance. So the bears controls the resistance. So they will try to to realize profits and sell their positions right at that those spots. So and they will try to keep the price down once the price reaches those levels. So here, if we zooming in a bit, we see the price. We see the price going up from from the first floor, and then reach reach the zone of resistance here. So stop going up right here and start falling down. So and then it keeps at this zone here, $200 and something for quite a while before goes all the way back to that region once again. So here we have another concept that to be able to to draw a support and resistance, we have to kind of try to draw those lines of support and resistance, catching as much as we can of those candles, because as much as we have those candles touching those lines, that makes the support or resistance stronger. Okay, so for instance, if I move this line down below here a bit, right here, okay, so we are like touching a couple of candles. So 1 here, 2, 3, and 4, but that means that could be just kind of a couple of business going on those regions, and that doesn't represent the majority of the business at that level. So if is more efficient if we move that line in a way that we can catch as much as we can possibly can here the candles. So as you can see now, the line is touched by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and so several candles, over 10 candles at least here. Okay, so that means this support acts stronger than if we draw kind of the same line here, because the first one here is touched by like 4 candles, 4 months in this case, and the next one is touched by several, probably over 10. So that means that this line here is a stronger support than the previous one. Okay, because there are more business happening at this level, okay, than this one. All right, so and the thinking is the same for the resistance. So we can draw the line, to be able to catch as much as we can of the resistance zone. So as you can see up here, I could move this line, let's say in here, and then this zone is touched by like 2 candles. But if I move this line just a little bit down, right here somewhere, so now I have 1, 2, 3, 4, at least 5, 6 candles being like touching that zone. All right, so this is a better representation of this resistance. So this resistance is stronger than if I move up this yellow line. Okay, so this is a very basic concept, but it's very important to identify. Of course, we have different tools to, to proper identify, support and resistance zones, but just with these very basic concepts, you'll be able to draw those lines and know, the more likely where the price is gonna go in the future, and we're gonna talk about that in a while. So just want to go back here in the concept of support and resistance, just to tell you guys that another thing important is once a resistance, so support and resistance, they can work, so a support can work as a support, but can work as a resistance as well, and vice versa. So let's pick at this time. This time let's look at these candles right here. So the price is going up, and so finds that zone here. So this zone now is a resistance. So the price goes and reaches that zone and goes back down, like pull back, and goes up again, and for the second time or third time try to retest that zone. So here is a resistance, and then breaks through the zone and goes to the next level, to the next floor. So now the price is on another level, so on another floor in our analogy, and now the ceiling now is acting like as a floor. Okay, so once this line was considered resistance, and the price breaks through, and now the price is moving above that line, above that resistance. Now that resistance become support for the price. So again, the price breaks through the resistance, and now is moving above the resistance. So now the resistance become support. So the price goes down and retests now the support, and now this is a strong support because it has been tested several times, several months here, and the market hold it, the price here. So the buyers, they hold it, this kind of a stronghold for the buyers. So, and then they push the price all the way up again to that resistance. Okay, so that's another concept. And another thing I want to share with you guys is a kind of giveaway. Okay, so now we can before the giveaway actually. So now we can identify those previous tops and bottoms, and try to draw those lines, support and resistance concepts. So let's change just for an exercise. Let's change to the weekly chart. So we see now is noisier now because kind of we are zooming in here, and as you can see, those lines they are touched by several candles. Now the candles represents one candle is 1 week. So we can see some lines. We can adjust some lines to touch the most important zones. So that those zones, guys, you can do like an exercise and go to daily chart and intraday charts and try to spot and draw those lines. Okay, so and that comes our giveaway in this video, which is the price, guys. Remember that always the market has memory. Okay, the market has memory. So what that means? That means once the price reaches a top or bottom, important zones again, so it's very, very likely that in some time in the future the price will go and retest that zone or those zones, important zones. So let's see here. Okay, an example of that. Maybe if we go back in time here, let's zoom in. Okay, so let's see this zone in here. So can you see the price is here is falling all the way down to this spot? So kind of $160, I think that time. So I'm gonna mark that here. So the price reached this zone here, okay? And then we don't know what's going to happen in the future. We don't know what's going to happen in the future, but we know that the price reached this region here, okay? So it's very likely that someday, so we don't know when, but we know it will retest that, that kind of same region. So it doesn't have to be, exactly the same spot, like rounded numbers, something like that, but just imagine it's a region. So you can draw, kind of a rectangle, something just to mark up and highlight, those zones. But as you can see, the time goes by, and then boom, here we are again, retesting the same level. Okay, months after the first time. So this is a very good opportunity for position trades, and so to know those zones. And why is that? Because the market knows that left the footprint behind, and so the market knows that that was an important zone in this case for the buyers. So the buyers will remember. The buyers will remember in this case that that zone is very important for them to hold the price, and they will leave a lot of buying orders at that zone. So, and then once again here we got to that same level. All right, and the thinking works the same for for the sellers. So we can go here and zooming out a little bit. Let's find. We can find here. We can use the same spot here. So what we know is that once the price reaches the top, so we know by now that the sellers are in control, and doesn't matter if the price is going to go down all the way down to some to the next support. But what we know in the future is that the market will remember that zone as an important zone for the sellers, to the sellers. So as you can see, all those months passed by, and then in the future we try to retest the zone right here, and some couple of times here until we break through the zone. So I'm trying to show you guys and to give this giveaway to you, that knowing that the market has memory and will remember the important zones, we can build our strategy, selling or buying strategy, and knowing that once we reach some those important zones, we're gonna have in this case here down below here, we're gonna have a lot of buying pressure. So it's very likely that the price is gonna go up, and works for the same once the price reaches a previous top region, okay, or important resistance. So once the price is approaching the previous top zone, or the next resistance, So we know if it's important resistance, we know we're gonna have a selling power, selling pressure. So we could think, maybe depends on your strategy, we could think is selling some of our positions, stuff like that. Okay guys, so I think that's everything I want to share with you on this video. I will make another videos on how to use some tools to spot those important zones, but you can now you are able now to to draw those lines and try to identify those important zones, so that will give you a kind of overall picture where the price is gonna move next. So I hope you enjoyed this video and see you on the next one.